Week 14 of the NFL's in the books, and what an interesting week it was. But we're on to week 15, so here are my power rankings and predictions going into week 15. What's crackalackin'? It's your boy Bro Schmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. Let's go ahead, start the video off with my power rankings with the little changes going on here at the bottom of the list. Houston Texans, you're staying put. You're the worst team in the NFL. I'm glad to see Davis Mills got another go around. And honestly, that was probably the best the Texans have looked in quite a bit. But still, they're a team that I would say for the most part is they're seeing what they got in their young players. It's hard to say what they'll do this offseason, at least when it comes to the coaching. I really feel like Lovey might be a one-and-done coach. But even still, like, there's a lot of promise going to the future. You got your rookies this season. You're probably going to get that franchise quarterback in the draft. They'll have some money to spend in free agency, but I feel like just using that to bring on some vets while you're really assessing where your young players are at and who you want to go move or stick with moving forward might be a better scenario. But regardless, they're the bottom of the list. Bears, they were on the bye, but they bump a spot down since, well, the Rams, they look like a different team with Baker Mayfield. Kind of, sort of. They look like a different team for like half of a quarter. But they got the win nonetheless. I bet you Lions fans were very disheartened by that win. But hey, man, this is going to be interesting. Is Baker going to be brought back? Because if so, I'm intrigued. The Denver Broncos, I didn't decide not to move them. I was going to move them up a little bit on this list since it was the first time they've shown life on offense, I don't know, all year. But with Russell Wilson probably in concussion protocol, probably won't see him for at least another week. So this team's probably doomed to lose, or at least next week without Russ, without this new Russ we haven't seen all season. So I felt like, just maybe sticking with them here is probably a safer call. And I mean, the Saints are as unpredictable as everybody. They had the bye this week, if you didn't know. And this is a team, it's like, I don't get it. Start Jameis Winston. What, you're spinning your wheels with Andy Dalton. He's not a guy you're going to have moving forward. Like, is Jameis really that hurt? Like, that you can't go ahead and be like, all right, let's see if this is a cat we're going to be, starting next season. So, I don't know what's up with the Saints. Colts, they, I believe, had the bye. Yeah, they had the bye this week, but you were coming off a very depressing fourth quarter a week ago, so they moved down one spot because some teams moved forward. Cardinals, man, this is, I think, the end of the road for this coaching staff. They took a big hit with Kyler Murray going down with it's presumed to be an ACL injury. It was non-contact. Normally, those things are season-ending, so it's going to spiral down from here. Little to no hope there for the Cardinals. And then the Browns, they showed, honestly, the offense looked a little bit better. At least Watson looked a little bit better. But still, his Browns team looks meh. So, yeah, Cleveland, we'll see you next year. On to the next part of the list with the Carolina Panthers. Oh my gosh. Sam Darnold at the helm. Looks like how they did at the beginning of last season, where it was like, uh-oh, watch out, man. They're the last undefeated team or something like that. I won't go that far, but they have looked very impressive, especially defensively. This team really, man, this sucks because if winning anymore and it's like, what are you going to do? Give away draft capital, move up to get a quarterback? Because you don't have your solution at quarterback. So it's like, it's fun to see this team do well. But it's like the more they win, the more they just screw themselves. At least it feels that way. Trevor Lawrence, best nickname I've ever heard. Pleasure Lawrence. Oh my goodness, man. He was a sight. It was a sight to behold. And much better. They looked much better than that whooping they took from the red hot Detroit Lions. But yeah, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Part of me thinks that this, like, the AFC South is no longer a lock. Like, I mean, still they're 2 games behind the Titans, but man, that was a really impressive display. Like, the Titans have felt like they have been spiraling the past couple of weeks, and that might just open the door for the Jags. The Jags will get them at the end of the season as well. And it's not like you look at Tennessee, like, really the Texans are probably their only sure win left on the schedule. Is they got the Chargers next week, they get the Cowboys, and then you look at the Jaguars schedule moving forward. They have the Cowboys, the Jets, but they get the Texans and the Titans. So it's like, with 4 games left to end the year, I think there's a real shot that maybe Tennessee finishes one. Like, if we assume that the Jaguars can beat the Titans again, there's a shot that Tennessee ends the year 8-9, which would, which might not be enough for the Jags if they end the season. So Titans end the year 1-3. That makes them 8-9. Jaguars 2-2 makes them 7-10. So they have to win. They literally, the Jaguars, to seal up, or to at least, best case scenario, Jaguars, they need to go 3-1, with one of those wins being against the Titans in the finale. While the Titans, honestly, Titans win 2 games going into the Jacksonville game, then it's like they seal it. So I don't know. This is going to be interesting. Something to keep tabs on. Like, definitely Tennessee's still trending to winning the division, but something to keep track of. The Atlanta Falcons, they had the bye. Packers had the bye. So it was like, didn't really want to move those teams, though. I really kind of wanted to move the Raiders like down a few spots. But like, looking at teams like the Raiders, the Packers, the Falcons, the Steelers, they're all kind of in the same ballpark. They've had some games this year where it's like, oh man, okay, these teams, they don't look half bad. They can contend. And then they've had their just gosh darn awful games this year. So they're like all in the same tier right now for me. With honestly, Raiders, it's like, I don't know what their only close games really this season, or at least I would say their impressive games, have come against, came in the division. Like, if you look at it, like, I mean, Raiders have had a lot of close losses this year. A lot. Oh my gosh. Yeah, opening of the year, losing by 5 to the Chargers, 6 to the Cardinals, 2 to the Titans, 1 to the Chiefs. And then they got blown out 24-0. Lost by 7 to the Jags, lost by 5 to the Colts. And then they kind of go on this win streak, beating teams like the Seahawks, the Chargers, and then this one to the Rams. It's like, what is this team? Who is this team? Like, yeah, I mean, the Steelers, they took a hit, losing Kenny Pickett to, I believe this is his 2nd concussion, possibly this season. So that's not good. For all intents and purposes, these teams are all in the same tier. It's just the Falcons. I'm kind of excited to see the Falcons with Desmond Ridder and with a real shot to actually contend for the division. Like, because let's just go ahead and get to the Bucs. They're a bad team. They really are. Like, offensively, this team's terrible. The defense sucks for the defense. It's like they don't even get a chance, because this offense can't move the football. And even when things do go right, what? There's a penalty. Like you look at the 60-some yard play by Mike Evans, holding call, Donovan Smith. Like, come on, man. It's like things have to perfectly go right. Scotty Miller was breaking deep, wide open, and Brady just underthrows him. Like, the margin for error offensively for this team's like next to none. And what? They had close victories to this season to like what? They beat the Browns, had to score 14 unanswered. Same with the Saints. Did they beat the Browns? I don't even think they beat the Browns. I can't recall. No, they lost to the Browns. But like, yeah, dude, this team's just awful. Just awful. And like, even their wins this year have been against bad, outside of the Cowboys in week 1, their wins this year have been against bad teams. So it's like Bucks are just a mess. It's just, I feel like they're better than the bad teams behind them, like the Raiders, the Steelers, the Packers, the Falcons. I don't know, man. I don't know. But then we get to the next tier of teams that I'm like, okay, these could be playoff bound teams. And we got the Giants at the bottom of that list. Saquon Barkley was on a snap count this week because of the neck injury. And to be fair, they didn't really stand a chance at all against the Eagles. It's like, okay, they faced a real-life playoff team and got blown out the water. A real-life team with dreams and aspirations of contending for that Super Bowl, and they looked bad. They looked terrible. Like honestly, like this year, the Giants, especially recently, I know they've been a bit beat up. Like they just haven't. They just haven't been that good. Like I don't think Daniel Jones is a guy that you can heap the offense on his shoulders. Not that he necessarily has the playmakers to do so. The offensive line has been beat up in recent weeks, but even when they're good to go, like I think Andrew Thomas and had one of his worst games of the season this past weekend. Evan Neal's still going through the rookie slump, so it's like I don't think they're gonna. I don't think the Giants are gonna make the playoffs. I just don't. I don't know. We'll get that rematch this week with Washington, and honestly, I feel a little bit better about Washington, but I only got Washington a few spots up. Let's just go ahead to the next part of the list. Tennessee Titans. They've been bad. The defense doesn't look the same now that Danico Autry's hurt. They're just not getting pass rush, which the corners, like, you leave those corners on an island for too long and they get smoked, as we've seen this the past few weeks. Offensively, their identity is Derrick Henry. If Derrick Henry can't get going like we saw in the second half against the Jaguars, then what are they? They don't have a threat. Like, I know Traylon Burks was hurt even before that. It's like he's had only really one big game. Literally Jig Okonkwo's been their probably best receiving target. So it's like, I don't even know with the Titans. I don't even know. Washington, they've really moved up one spot because I just feel like Titans are a bad team. Honestly, I was contemplating putting the Titans behind the Giants, but they're all kind of in this same tier of, yeah, they could be playoff teams, but they're just, if they make the playoffs, I expect them to be ousted in round one handedly. But yeah, man, Taylor Heineke, man, dude's awesome. I hope they. I'm kind of rooting for the Commanders. It's kind of wild. Detroit Lions, one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. Jared Goff is playing really good football. Not the best football of his career. I saw some comments of that last week in the comment section. It's like everyone forgets like how good he was that Super Bowl season. So it's like, I still don't think he's a long-term answer, but I think he's fine for right now, and maybe he might be worth that $30 million cap hit he's going to eat up next season. So hey, if they don't like the quarterbacks in this year's class, they don't necessarily have to go it. I'm not saying I'm totally on board with that, but I don't mind thinking there's another way to go. I don't mind it. But Detroit's playing really good football, and they actually get to face the Jets this week, who are one spot ahead of them. And the Jets have had a rough road the past couple of weeks. And keep in mind, at least the offenses looked much better with Mike White. That Buffalo squad just kept annihilating poor Mike White, man. He was just getting hit for his life, but he kept coming back. And I really like this Jets team with Mike White. Do I think they might be a serious Super Bowl? It's not. Do I think they're a serious playoff team? Not really. I really don't. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way about the Jets. Like, offensively, I just think there's too many question marks. Mike White could be white hot, or he could be what we saw this past week, just getting hit for his life. And I mean, kind of like the Patriots are the same thing. They're just relying on a really good defense when they have a mediocre offense. Mac Jones hasn't looked great. He hasn't looked even good, really, this season. They beat the Cardinals. Cardinals defense is one of the worst in the league, and there was nothing impressive about that, about what they did. I know they lost Mondre Stevenson early, but still, I don't know. And Seahawks, man, oh man, that defense ain't good. That defense ain't good. They got ran all over by the Panthers, and Geno Smith could only do so much. And Geno started out the game pretty rough with 2 picks, but he was able to keep this team at least in it for the most part, though. Like, near the end of the game, it was like, Panthers got this one. But yeah, I still consider the Seahawks pretty solid playoff squad who could maybe surprise somebody in the first round, potentially. I don't know. We'll find out more this Thursday with them against the Niners. The Brock Purdy-led Niners. Hello. Chargers had a big win. They move up 3 spots, and hopefully they get guys back healthy. Bosa and even Rashawn Slater might end up playing this year. That wasn't supposed to be a thing until we heard that early yesterday that he may return. Which those are two big returns if that can happen. Slater offensively for this squad, and obviously Bosa. So like that's huge. They were able to beat the Dolphins. We'll talk about Tua in a sec, but Justin Herbert has played great football this season. Like, I'm really buying into the Chargers should be a playoff team, man. But like, I don't know, man. It's close. I think they're currently just outside of the playoffs. Let's go take a look at this. Yeah, they're currently tied with the Patriots. And Patriots hold, I believe the tiebreaker would be the division record, which the Patriots have right now, a better one. Yeah, and the Jets are right there. So it's like, man, can the Chargers sneak in ahead of the Patriots? I definitely feel like the Chargers are a better team right now than both the Jets and the Patriots. But I don't know. We'll see. It was an impressive win they had against Miami. Baltimore Ravens get healthy. Lamar, Tyler Huntley goes down, and they did enough to beat the Steelers. But like, oh man, this team needs. Even when Lamar was there, like the offense has just been kind of yeah, like it hasn't been impressive. They've had you look at games like Panthers, what was the offense doing? Even the Jags game, Like that offense like came alive late. Saints game, it was just like kept getting the ball. They kept stopping the Saints. Like this defense is super good. That's the thing. But let's just go ahead and talk about the top 8. These are your legit playoff contenders, teams that I think that can go, that can make a run in the playoffs. Starting with the Dolphins, crap showing, back-to-back bad showings for Tua. I don't love it. The defense isn't that great either. Kind of curious why this team won't try to lean a little bit more on the run game. Robert Jones didn't have his best game, though I think he's looked solid though thus far at left guard for the Dolphins. Tua, yeah, man, I don't know if Tua's gonna be streaky like this, then it might be rough. Let's see it. Let's see this week, because Dolphins need to start winning. Like they'll have a tough one against Buffalo. Buffalo's going to be trying to avenge that loss that in that close game earlier this season. So let's see what the Dolphins do here, and I think that'll be a pretty good gauge on how I feel about them being actual contenders this season. Vikings losing to the Detroit Lions, and I kind of feel similar to the Vikings as I do the Dolphins, except for I feel actually a bit better offensively when it comes to the Vikings. It's just the defense is so bad for the Vikings. It's so bad. The secondary got annihilated. The 49ers, this, like, I don't know, man. This team has to be a Super Bowl contender. Like, the defense is so good, and I think at 6, these are all, I will say it now, these are your legit teams that are going to vie for the Super Bowl. Like, the Niners defense is just so good. Brock Purdy has done a great job of, like, I wouldn't say he's been fantastic, but he's done a great job of trying to play mistake-free and just getting the ball to his playmakers. And he's done a great job, man. He really has, and he's been able to lean on a good run game and a very good defense. Just annihilated the Packers. Bucks didn't stand a chance. Dallas Cowboys, a little bit of scare. Could have been a case of them just looking ahead to the Eagles, as they'll have the Eagles not this week, but the following week. So let's see how this Cowboys team looks against the Jags. But I think it'll be week 16 that the Cowboys will take on the Eagles, and hopefully this could be a case where they're looking ahead, and maybe even the Jags might surprise them. I don't know. I don't think the Cowboys are going to be caught with their pants down again going into this this Eagles game. That'll happen not this week, but the following. So I think this team will be better. I think they were just a bit, they kind of thought this game was a foregone conclusion. They're still able to run the ball stupid efficiently. Defense may not have been as great as it has been, but we know how good this defense can be. And then, like, straight up, man, I think these are your Super Bowl contenders. Like, these 4 teams are like the tippity of the top. Like the Cincinnati Bengals, getting things done. Hopefully T. Higgins is all right. I guess he was being plagued by a hamstring injury all week, and he kind of tweaked it in warm-ups, played one snap, and he was like, yeah, nah, I'm not feeling it. We know Tyler Boyd went down to, I believe it was a broken finger. So, like, hopefully those guys can get healthy before I can't even say before a playoff push, because, I mean, their sketty going down the line is still pretty nuts. Let's take a look at it here, as they'll get the Bucks this week, which, I mean, with how the Bucks have been playing, that should be an easy one, but it's like, it's Tom Brady. Never count them out. Patriots, where it's like, that's still a really good defense you're going to have to go in and face. Bills, and then the Ravens. So it's like, yeah, it's a tough schedule headed down the slate. So hopefully those guys can get healthy. But this defense is just playing so stinking good. I know Trey Hendrickson went down with a wrist injury, but it doesn't sound like he's going to be on IR, but hopefully he can be back for that Bills game. That's going to be the big game. But this defense has played really good football the past few weeks. Honestly, all season, really. But especially the last couple of weeks. Buffalo Bills offense, man, just feels like it's all out of sorts. Luckily, another team that has a really good defense, a really good pass rush. Gregory Rousseau, man, he's putting the pass rush on his back with Von Miller getting hurt. But offensively, man, I mean, as long as they got Josh Allen, it feels like they will have some form of offense. But this week just didn't, like, Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, like, those guys didn't really perform all that well. Their running game really didn't do much. I know the offensive line's a little banged up, but even then, like, the interior of that offensive line hasn't been playing good football. So it's like the Bills do have a bit more questions, and I really wanted to put the Bengals over the Bills, actually. Kansas City Chiefs made it look easy, got out to a really big lead against the Broncos. Russell Wilson started cooking for the first time all year, but still the game never felt it was in doubt. This is a very good Chiefs team. I think they're the best team in the AFC, and the Eagles currently still first. Their schedule hasn't been all that crazy this year, but this team has been exceptionally good. And I think they will ride that right through. They got the Bears this week they got the Bears, and they have to go face the Cowboys, and then we'll get to see, okay, this is a legit playoff squad. Let's see how they do against them. Like the Giants, they're like fringe playoffs. Dallas, that's a real real playoff team right there. But let's go ahead and get to my predictions. And of course, today's sponsors, Underdog Fantasy. Gojo, you want to come up here, bud? You want to come up here? You want to show the people how you're the mascot now? Oh, he doesn't want to get up. I'm not gonna make him get up. But special thanks to Underdog, who is our sponsor today. If you love weekly fantasy player prop bets, or even just picking teams, over unders and such, then check out Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code BROSHMO when you sign up, and they'll hook you up. Bet responsibly, my friends. Didn't bet this week. Good thing I did. My record was trash. Didn't do that well. To be fair, I came close on a few over and unders and missed it by like a smidge. But then there were like a couple of games that caught me off guard with honestly Panthers and Seahawks. I should have felt that one. But that one caught me off guard. I rode too much with the Dolphins, thinking they'd have a good bounce back week against the Chargers. Wasn't meant to be. What other team caught me? Oh, I took the Ravens +3. They win by 2. That was great. Titans just absolutely surprised me that their play was just this bad. But yeah. Hey, buddy. Hey, come here. You want to show everybody your scarf? Come here, Gojo. Yeah, Gojo ain't about it. Let's go ahead and get into this sucker. Let's take a look at this week. As we got the San Francisco 49ers versus Seattle Seahawks. San Fran is a 3.5 point favorite. This is in San Francisco. 43.5 is the over under. And Niners win this game. I'll take Niners +3.5. Can they still 43 is such an interesting number. Like, I don't know if this is like the Geno Smith team that was led in, I think it was week 2 the last time these teams faced off, then this could be like a 28-10 game, which puts it right under. So I think I'm going to lean with the under, man. I'm going to trust that San Fran defense. We got Saturday games this week. My Miami Dolphins, no. They're 7.5 point underdogs to the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to go Miami +7.5. I think they clear that. I know Miami's offense hasn't been that good as of past couple of weeks, But the Bills have been letting teams get close. They really have. The Bills' offense has looked a bit out of sorts. So I think Miami could at least cover 7.5. Over-under is 41.5. Part of me wants to go with the under there. Feels like this game might hit like maybe like 24. Let's go with the over. 41's real low. I know it's going to be really cold, but man, I know it's going to be really cold. I do think Bills win this game, but I think the Dolphins could cover. Let's go with the over, because if I assume Dolphins could cover, then that means it has to hit the over. We got the Colts versus the Vikings. Vikings need a good bounce back week, and this is the week to do it against a team like the Colts. So I think they win. Don't feel comfortable taking the 4 points, but over under is 48.5. They should be able to clear that number. And I think they will. I'll go with the. Oh, that's such a big number. Can the Colts put up that many points? I mean, they did the first 3 quarters against Dallas. You know what? Coming off a bye. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with the over. Ravens versus Browns. Over under is 37.5. I want to take the under in that. Cleveland are 3-point favorites. I guess this is like, okay, who's playing quarterback for the Ravens? Gosh, that's so fair. Like, I mean, okay, so like, who does play quarterback? Well, what's the latest news on Tyler Huntley? What is it? Anthony Brown would be the backup? Freaking A, man. So Tyler Huntley injury. Let's get more on it. It's a concussion. Is it? It's a concussion. Ooh, so will he be ready by Saturday? Oh, I think the Browns actually could win this. I wish they weren't the favorites. You know what, Boswell, I'll take Ravens +3. I'll take Ravens +3. All right, that concludes our Saturday slate of games. We're going to open up with Sundays. We got the Bears versus the Eagles. Over and under is 48.5. I kind of like that. Let's take the over there. I'll just take the Eagles on the money line. And 9 points is a lot. Falcons versus the Saints. Saints, 4.5-point favorites. I want to ride with the rookie, yo. I want to ride with the rookie and Desmond Ridder. Over and under is 43. Both these defenses haven't played all that great this year. I think we'll hit the over, and I think we're going to take Atlanta +4. And the Lions versus the Jets. No kidding. This game is even. Who would have thought? I really want to ride with the Lions. I really do. I'm rooting for this Lions squad. And as a Dolphins fan, I love to root against the Jets. So I'm going to go with the Lions. Lions on the money line, obviously. Over-under is 44.5. Oh, if Lions win, they have the over probably has to clear that. So hopefully this game doesn't look like how the Lions took on the Patriots, as I think they got goose-egged in that game. So yeah, I think we have like. I'm having a hard time. Yeah, I'll take the over. I'll take the over. I wouldn't bet over-under on this one. Let's just go with that. But I'm going to go with the Lions. Steelers versus Panthers. Panthers, 2.5-point favorites. Mitch Trubisky might end up being the starter with Pickett in concussion protocol. Panthers are on a bit of a streak. I feel better about just taking Panthers on the money line at this point. Over-under is 3.5. That feels right. It really does. Let's go with the under. Panthers defense playing really good ball. Jaguars against the Cowboys. I was kind of hoping for maybe a bigger spread than this, because I really would like to take the Jags. I really would. But I was kind of hoping for more of like a 7 to 8 point spread, but we got 4.5. So not enough confidence. I'd rather just take Cowboys on the money line. I don't think they get caught with their pants down again this week after that Houston game. Over and under is 48. 8. I'll probably go with the over in this case. Chiefs versus Texans. Chiefs 14-point favorites. That's too many points. Just give me the Chiefs on the money line. Over under is 49. I kind of want to go with the under there. Then we got the Cardinals versus the Broncos. Don't worry, I'll pull up their odds right now. Cardinals v Broncos. Both these teams likely don't have their quarterbacks, which is kind of wild. That is kind of a mess, huh? All right, as of right now, Broncos are 1.5-point favorites. No kidding. I kind of want to ride the Broncos here anyway. Over under is 36.5. Oh, I'll take the under. I'll take the under. Just given that we might end up with two teams that are, well, without their starting quarterbacks. Patriots versus Raiders. Currently, Raiders are 1.5-point favorites. Over under is 44.5. I kind of want to ride with the Patriots on this one, so give me them. I'll take the points anyway. Plus 1.5 gives you a little leeway. Over under 44.5. I'm gonna go with the under. Titans versus Chargers. 3-point spread here. Chargers plus 3, or I guess in this case, -3. Just give me Chargers on the money line. Like how this team's playing. Over under is 46. I like the under there. Give me the Bengals and the Buccaneers. Bengals, 3.5-point favorites. They're playing really good ball. I'd rather just take them on the money line. Over under is 44. Can they clear that? I have no faith in the Bucs offense. Give me the under. Oh, here's the rematch. Giants, Commanders. This is a Sunday night game too. Commanders 4.5-point favorites. The over/under is 40. That's funny since last time they played, that was the exact total. So that's fair. So give me the over. Give me the under in this game, and I'll take the Commanders on the money line. And then we got the Rams versus the Packers. Packers 7.5-point favorites. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I kind of want to buy into the Baker Mayfield hype right now. I think I'm gonna take the Rams plus 7.5. Over under is 40. Yeah, I believe it. Does that mean I want to take it? Not really. I feel like this game hits the over. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. As always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.